Okay, in this section we're going to cover 10.2 parabolas. Okay, this is the formal definition of parabola. You do not have to copy this down. Okay, a parabola is the set of all distances x, y in a plane that are equidistant from a fixed line, which is called the directrix, and a fixed point, the focus, which in this case is this point, not on the line. The vertex is the midpoint between the focus and the directrix. Here's the focus. The vertex is between the focus and directrix. The axis of the parabola is the line passing through the focus and the directrix. Okay, so what are they saying? They're saying if I pick any random point on the parabola, I'll pick this one. This is my point x, y. It's equidistant from the directrix. So if I go to the directrix, this distance is going to be equidistant as that point to the focus. No matter which point I pick on the parabola, it's always true that those two will be congruent. As you can see over here, this is congruent to this is congruent to that. So that's the formal definition of parabola. Okay, when we look at parabolas in this section, we're going to be looking a lot at their directrix and their focus. Because of that, this is the standard form that we're going to use in this chapter. Okay, the vertex form is what we used previously, where it was x minus h squared plus k, and then there was a coefficient here that indicated some kind of vertical stretch or shrink. So this is just a rearrangement of that. Okay, the vertex is still hk. If it is along the vertical axis, that just means it's going to open up or down. If it's along the horizontal axis, it's going to open left or right. So hk is the vertex. The only new information here is the p. The p is the distance from the vertex to the focus and the vertex to the directrix. So if I'm at my vertex and I go to my focus, I would be going positive p, in this case in the y direction. If I go from the vertex to the directrix, I would be going down p units, which would be negative p. Okay, so we're gonna find the standard form of an equation for the parabolas with the indicated information. Okay, now for A, they've already given me that the vertex is 1, 4, so that's h and k. Okay, I just need to figure out, is this opening in the vertical or the horizontal direction, and what the p-value is, and then I can complete the standard form. Okay, now to find the way it's opening, it depends on if you're a visual learner or an algebraic learner. Okay, for visual learners, let me make a little sketch over here. The vertex is 1, 4, let's say it's here. The focus is 1, 7, so maybe up here. The focus is always in the parabola, so it's opening in this direction. So visually, I can see it's opening in the y direction. Okay, how can I tell from the information I'm given? Let's look at that. Okay, so from the vertex to the focus is going to tell me the p-value, because that's how many units are from the vertex to the focus. Okay. The vertex is 1, 4, the focus is 1, 7, which means the only value that's changing is the y value. So from the vertex to the focus, I'm going up 3 units, which tells me p is 3, and I'm doing it in the y direction, which tells me this is along the vertical axis. So now I have enough information. I know it's going to be this format because it's opening in the y direction. And I know that my p is 3, so now I can just plug it in. I'm going to copy the standard form before I plug it in. But that's just because it's your notes. Okay, so let's see. My vertex is x minus h squared equals 4 times p is 3. Y minus my k value is 4. The only thing I'm going to do is multiply the 4 times the p, and then I'm going to leave that as my standard form. Okay, and then this is what we would be going for. I can tell from the equation that the vertex is 1, 4, and I could calculate the p-value if I wanted to find the p-value. Okay, let me look at B. We're going to do a few more of these. Okay, for B, it says the vertex is at the origin. Remember, the origin is 0, 0. They tell me the focus is 0, negative 5. Okay, so I already have the vertex. I want to find the p-value, and I want to know whether this is opening in the x or the y direction. Okay, so if I go from the origin to the focus, let's see, in the y direction, it's changing by -5. So P is -5. It is in the Y direction, which you don't have to write, but I need to make sure I use the correct format for that. Because it's opening in the Y direction, the X is going to be squared. Okay, I'm just copying the original equation. You don't need to copy it. Okay, so what do I have? I have 0, 0. And then my P is -5. And you will probably do this faster. So I'm going to have x squared equals -20y. And that's going to be my final answer. If you want to leave the x minus 0 squared, -20 parentheses y minus 0, that's fine, but it's not necessary. This is a more simplified answer. Okay, we're going to do a couple more, and then we're going to convert it to standard form. So for C, it tells me the vertex is 3, 2. So again, they've given me the h and the k. They tell me the focus is 1, 2. And again, if you want to sketch a picture, you could sketch a picture. Here, let me sketch. Or you can imagine in your head. Okay, 3, 2 somewhere here, 1, 2 is over here, which means it's probably opening like this. So it's opening in the x direction, but I don't need a picture to figure it out. If I'm going from the vertex to the focus, let's see what's changing. The x is changing. And if I go from 3 to 1, my p-value is -2. It is in the x direction. Even though it does not ask me, it's going to help me pick the correct equation. Okay, now if it's opening in the horizontal direction, then the y is going to be the squared part. Okay, you don't have to copy the general equation every time. I'm just doing it because it's notes. Okay, so then I'm just going to plug in the values. Okay, let's see, h, k, p. Okay, and then I'm just going to multiply the 4p. Okay, and this is the format I want because I can see the vertex and I can see the p-value hidden in there. Okay, the last one is very similar, but this time I'm going to give you the directrix to switch it up. Okay, but I still have the vertex. The vertex is still my hk. Okay, I'm going to sketch a picture for visual people, but then I'll also show you. You can do it without the graph. Okay, if the vertex is 2, 4, 2, 4 is up here. Let's see, x equals -1 is over here. Okay, which actually means this is going to open in this direction because it should be opening away from the directrix. So kind of, if you're visual, you can keep that in mind. I can see it's opening in the x direction. Okay, without using my graph, let me see. If I go from the vertex to the directrix, I'm actually going backwards. So from here to here, I'm going -p. 2 to -1 is actually going to -3, so p is 3. And if you sketched it, you can kind of see, oh, I went, the focus should be 3 forward, the directrix is 3 backwards, which is fine. It is in the x direction because it's x equals -1. So I'm going to write the general equation and then I'm going to plug it in. No, I'm not. I'm just going to plug it in. So y minus 4 squared equals 4 times p times x minus 2. Okay, and then I just multiply my 4p. Okay, and then that is the format I'm going for. Okay, for the last example, I'm going to convert the equation to the standard form, and then I'm going to find the vertex, the focus, and the directrix. I might sketch it even though it doesn't ask me to, because sometimes it's helpful. Okay, let me see. What am I squaring? 8x plus y squared minus 6y minus 7 equals 0. I'm going to get the squared terms on the left because that's where they are in the standard equation. So y squared minus 6y is going to stay here. The 8x is going to move, so I'm going to minus the 8x to the other side. I'm going to add this 7 to the other side. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and complete this square so I can figure out the y coordinate of the vertex. Okay, let me see. Half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. make sure you add it to the right side if you add it to the left side. Okay, now I did complete the square, but I want the right side to tell me what the x-coordinate is, so I'm going to factor out the -8. Okay, now this is the standard form I'm going for. Okay, and it actually does have all the information I need. So if I look at this, the vertex in this case will be x is 2, y is 3. Okay, what else do they ask me for? The focus and the directrix. I need the p-value in order to find the focus and the directrix. So if I look right here, that normally has a 4p. So 4p is equal to -8, which means p is going to be -2. Now, is it -2 in the x direction or the y direction? Okay, some people remember, okay, because it's next to the x, it's going to go in the x direction. Or some people remember, because the y is squared, this is opening in the x direction. I normally think, okay, it's next to the x, so this is going to go -2 in the x direction. And you don't have to write x direction, but I am on my notes. Okay, so what am I finding? Focus. My focus in the x direction, it's going to go -2 from the vertex. So the vertex was 2. I'm going to go -2 in the x direction. But I'm not going to change the y coordinate. So the focus is going to be 0, 3. And then what else do I need? I need my directrix. Okay, since this is going in the x direction, my directrix is going to be x equals. Okay, I start from my vertex. I'm going to go 2 minus the p-value. So 2 minus -2. So my directrix will be at x equals 4. Okay, I kind of want to sketch this, but I'm going to run out of room. Let me put it over here. Okay, you don't have to sketch it. It doesn't say to sketch it. But I just want you to see everything would line up. So the vertex 2, 3, say it's up here. My focus is 0, 3, which is over here. My directrix is x equals 4, which is over here, which means my parabola is looking something like this. And I can see it looks like it's spaced out properly. So you don't have to draw it unless it tells you to, but I can kind of tell everything's matching up the way I want it to. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and look at b. B is y equals -1/5 x squared, which we previously used to like it like that, but now we don't like it like that. Okay, so I actually want the coefficient to be on the non-squared side. So I'm going to multiply by -5. So -5y equals x squared. Okay, so from this format, now I can tell that the vertex is 0, 0. Okay, I'm going to find the p-value so that I can find the focus and the directrix. Since the coefficient is -5, then it's true that 4p equals -5. And I remember that because it's next to the y, it's going to go in the y direction. But however you remember it, it is fine. So this is p is -5. It is in the y direction, which you don't have to write, but you do need to think about it. Okay, so now I'm going to find the focus. Okay, the focus is from the vertex, which is this one here. In the y direction, I'm going to go -5/4, which you could do in your head, but I'm going to show it. So from my vertex in the y direction, I'm going to go -5/4. So my focus is 0, -5/4. Okay, and then for my directrix, since it's opening in the y direction, it's going to be y equals, I know since it's changing in the y direction, it's opening in the x direction. No, I don't. Take it. Ignore everything I just said. Okay, it's y equals, from the vertex in the y direction, I'm going to subtract the p-value. So y equals 0 minus -5/4. And yes, you could do this in your head. I would get y equals 5/4. Okay, it doesn't say to sketch it. I'm going to do a little sketch, though, for visual people. Vertex is 0, 0. The focus is 0, -5/4 down here. The directrix is like this. So this parabola looks like it's going to open like this because the focus is always inside the parabola. The directrix is always on the outside. Let's do one more with a fraction, just to make sure we're good with fractions. Okay, now the first thing, there's fractions everywhere. I'm okay with it. But in this case, we actually want the y squared to be on its own, so I don't want the fractions there. So even if you like them, we're still going to get rid of them. Let's see, the least common number is 6, so I'm going to multiply by 6. 2/3 times 6, 12 divided by 3 is 4y minus 2. Okay, now it looks normal again. I want to complete the square on the y term, but let me move the 2 to the other side before I complete the square. Okay, now if I complete the square on this thing, half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Make sure you add it to the other side. Okay, almost done. I do want to factor out the 6 so that I can see my vertex staring right at me. Okay, this is my standard form. Okay, from my standard form, I can get the vertex. Okay, from my standard form, I can find the p-value. 4p equals 6, so p is 6 over 4, which is 3 over 2, and then because it's the coefficient of the x term, this is in the x direction, which you don't have to write, but you do need to remember. Okay, so for my focus, okay, my vertex is going to change in the x direction, so in the x direction, it's going to go up 3/2, but the y value is not going to change. What's that? Negative 2 over 2 plus 3 over 2, positive 1 over 2. Okay, and then my directrix, because this is in the x direction, it's going to be x equals. Okay, and then I start from the vertex. The x for the vertex is -1, and then I subtract p, so negative 3/2. So x equals negative 2 over 2 minus 3 over 2, negative 5 over 2. Okay, and if I sketched a graph to confirm my information, it should look reasonable.